Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about a topic that I got in the comments from my last video, which is going to be over virtual networking. I'm sure we're used to this by now, given this time in the pandemic, but it doesn't hurt to provide my perspective. I will say that this video is very similar to the in-person networking video that I gave last week, but there are a couple nuances. Please be sure to like this video, subscribe so you can get content in oil and gas and professional development topics, and be sure to comment on this video so I can incorporate your feedback into future videos. Be sure to click on the notification bell as I upload every Friday and Sunday. Friday will be the soft skill specials, such as this video, and Sunday will be the technical reviews, which I go over papers. Well, I hope you enjoy the content. The first tip I'm going to talk about is keep your video on. This is a tip that I need to follow myself sometimes, but it can be intimidating. I can relate to that. There are times where you're just not ready, you don't have your makeup on, or you know that you don't look great, so you rather keep your video off and be in the conversation. But if it's a one-on-one conversation and if your video is off, it may seem like that others are talking to a wall when they're really talking to you. So make sure you have your video on to improve the quality of the networking experience. And that way people can also see your nonverbal body language and people can adapt the communication style. So that's what I mean by improving the quality of communication whenever you're turning your video on. So I hope you take that into consideration. The next tip I'm going to talk about is exchanging your LinkedIn and emails. This is really crucial to do that because once you're in that one-on-one networking conversation, you may not ever see them again. And if you don't have their contact information, well, it's really difficult to catch up with them. If you exchange your LinkedIn URLs and if you exchange your emails, for instance, then that's a great way to keep in touch in the future. That way you can carry on the virtual conversation and make sure you just put all of that in the chat. Make sure you save that from the chat too, because I know some platforms such as Zoom will take down delete the chat history, for example, if you close out of the conversation. So make sure you save all that information in a safe spot or click on the link before you end the networking experience. The next tip I'm going to talk about is your audio and your video, making sure they're up to par. As I'm really guilty of this, for instance, I tend to use my computer audio. However, the computer audio is not always the best kind of audio. Using a headset will improve the quality of listening, especially for your networking experience. Videos, I would say you can use your computer video if that suffices, but I would also suggest using some external software and installing it on your computer and to use that video. That might improve the video quality and people can see you better. If you can refer to my first tip on the importance of keeping your video on, this ties into this pretty beautifully as far as keeping your audio and video up to par. The fourth tip I'm going to talk about is using the platform's functions. Sounds a little bit vague. What I mean is, for instance, if two people are already talking, and if you're in a Zoom group conversation, for instance, make sure you can use the chat function or make sure you use the hand raising function if you want to speak. That way you're not interrupting anybody when they're talking, and that way people know that you have something to say rather than misreading any of your body language. It's easy to misread during a Zoom conversation when videos are on just because people can't necessarily see the rest of your body. So making use of the platform functions is very essential. Studying these platform functions as you get on the Zoom conversation or beforehand is very essential. That way you can have a smooth experience when conversing and there are not too many technical glitches. The last tip I'm going to talk about is the crucial follow-up. My last networking video, I talked about the importance of following up with your contacts 24 hours after you get their business card. Well, this time I would say you could be a little bit more proactive in your networking conversation and ask for a follow-up. For instance, in the end of the conversation, after exchanging your LinkedIn's and your emails or any other contact information, you can also ask when is the next time you want to meet up with them over Zoom or over the next platform. I'm using Zoom a lot because I tend to use the platform, or I say Zoom a lot because I tend to use that platform. Whenever you schedule that follow-up, that way you know that there is a continuation of the conversation and you're also developing a relationship with that person. Developing relationships can be very difficult over a virtual platform, but that isn't to say that it isn't possible. A bonus tip I'm going to give you guys is how you center your head in a Zoom or any other platform conversation. It's better to center your head like what I'm doing right now in this video. That way people can pay more attention. I understand that there might be some videos or some cameras that you may be putting on top of your laptop, so people tend to see the top of your head and you tend to be looking at the screen, which you may not be seeing directly in terms of the camera like I'm doing right now. It can be a little bit difficult, but if you can arrange your camera to where you are centered, and if you're looking directly at the camera, then it will improve the interaction experience, especially over a virtual platform. Well, that's a wrap, everyone. I hope you enjoyed my tips on the virtual networking. Again, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click on the notification bell. That way you get the notices on my uploads every Friday and every Sunday. I really appreciate your feedback, so please, please, please comment on the video so I can incorporate your feedback into future ones. I hope you have a great day.